The evolving legacy of HBCUs explores life at HBCUs through students at Delaware State and Dillard. The documentary highlights the legacy and impact of these institutions on future leaders. You can stream it through American Public Television's website. And guitarist Joe Bonamassa is honoring B.B. King with a 32-track tribute album, Blue Summit 100, out February 6th. A mystery guest will cover The Thrill Is Gone. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This season, San Diego is playing at home, and you are on the roster. Don't miss the Padres, Wave FC, San Diego FC, and the Blue Angels at the Miramar Air Show. Plan your trip now at sandiego.org/awesome all year. Funded in part with City of San Diego Tourism Marketing District Assessment Funds.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers got a strong pitching performance from Blake Snell to beat Philadelphia last night 5-0. Snell had a season-high 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. The Dodgers got home runs from Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, his 51st this season. The Dodgers maintained their 2-game lead over San Diego in the NL West with 10 games left in the regular season. The Chargers placed All-Pro linebacker Khalil Mack on injured reserve, which means he'll miss at least the next 4 games. Mack was diagnosed with a dislocated left elbow. He was injured in the first quarter of the Chargers' win at Las Vegas Sunday night. The 34-year-old Mack has started 52 of 53 games with the Chargers. By the way, the Chargers have the number 1 defense in the NFL after 2 weeks, allowing only 15 points per game. The Chargers are at home Sunday against Denver. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
I've had heartaches like this before, and disappointments by the score. I claim the victory at last. This too will pass. Can I say it again? I've had heartaches like this before, and disappointments by the score. I claim the victory at last. This too will pass. Listen to me.
Dr. West, you going James Cleveland with it today?
Oh, brother, we got to go back to the old landmark, brother. In times like these, we need an anchor. We need something to hold the grip so we can have our backbone, our courage, our vision, connecting our remembrance to our resistance, brother. And that's James Cleveland. And I think that's Charles Fole of Lincoln Heights Baptist Church in Cincinnati, where the Isaac brothers grew up around the street, and Boosie on the other side of town. We need to go back to the roots and the sources. But Brother Tavis, there is no landmark without a question mark, because the only way you keep your landmark vital and vibrant is to continually question it, to keep it fresh. And that's what we need, my brother. Yeah, that's James Cleveland right there, man.
Turn it up, Miles.
To the sunshine and the rain. Just know it cannot last. Whatever you're going through, this too will pass. The sun will. The sun will shine. Take it. The time, the overflow will soon have to pass away.
The sun will shine. James Cleveland, Charles Fold. It's a powerful, powerful track. And on every Monday and Thursday at the top of the second hour, it's Smiley and West. And Dr. West chooses his own walk-on music. I never know what it's going to be until he walks on. But he chose a good one today. You said two things right quick. I want to get you just to expound on right quick here. There is no landmark without a question mark. And we have to connect our remembrance with our resistance. Take them one at a time and tell me more, Doc.
Well, brother, I was thinking of Brother Terry's historic gym that you go to. The reason why it has remained at the highest level of excellence is because it is a landmark, but he's got to keep it fresh. He's got to revitalize it to make sure it continually reaches out to new folk.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have Denzel one morning, you the next morning. He's reaching out to the young folk, and it's also, of course, going to be co-educational. So he got the sisters there too. That is how you keep a great institution going. That's how you keep a great tradition going. We need our churches to be revitalized to keep the breath, to keep the bread of life fresh, the gospel fresh. We need our schools. We need our trade unions. We need our businesses. We need our mosques, our synagogues, and our temples. I'm a Christian, but I know that good comes in a number of different ways through different institutions. Part of our problem is, though, brother, the decadence and the decay of our moment is we don't have enough landmarks and question marks interplaying in such a way that they're vital, touching people's lives to empower them to fight against this ugliness that we're dealing with, neo-fascism, whatever name we want to call it. We keeping track of organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference to the least of these.
That's the landmark and the question mark. Now, tell me more about how we have to, as you said, always link our remembrance with our resistance.
Because resistance is sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. It's empty. It's vacuous if it's not tied to a reverence, something bigger than our egos, bigger than our careers, bigger than our status, and then a remembrance of always recalling that moral and spiritual greatness and excellence that we have access to, be it our mothers, our fathers. I just had it last night with my brother, 75 years old. I'm talking about my blood brother, Clifton West, 75 years old and still indescribable force for good. You see, those are the exemplars of excellence. If we can't remember those, then we end up just imitating and repeating what's coming at us. And what's coming at us? Market-driven greed and the weaponized hatred and contempt for each other. The greatness of Black people has always been to transcend the greed and the hatred in the name of justice, in the name of love, in the name of service, and be willing to live and die for something bigger than us. Some of them call it the kingdom of God. Others call it what they want.
Happy 75th birthday to Big Cliff, as I call him. Big Cliff celebrated his 75th yesterday, and so we wish him a happy birthday on that special occasion. So much to talk about with Dr. West when we come forward. Obama is in the news again. He's been sort of low-key for the most part, but he has now come out and in a gathering in Pennsylvania refers to the moment that we find ourselves in as an inflection point. That's his phrase. We are now at an inflection point. We'll take Doc's temperature on that. We all saw the news that Jimmy Kimmel, first it was Colbert, now it's Jimmy Kimmel, yanked him off the air. And it's not so much about Colbert and Kimmel as much as it is everybody just shaking in their boots. And people being fired and yanked off the air for their Trump commentary. A great deal more to cover with Dr. Cornel West in this iteration of Smiley and West when we come forward.
trials, tribulations, heartaches.
From Alert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West, as Smiley and West is on the air again, as we are every Monday and Thursday at the top of the second hour. All right, Doc, as you well know, we've gotten in some trouble over the years with our Obama commentary, our Obama critique. But he's come out of hiding, and he has he appeared in Pennsylvania and said that he regards this moment as an inflection point following the murder, the death of activist Charlie Kirk. What's your read of whether or not this is, to his point, an inflection point in U.S. history?
No, I think he does have a point. There's no doubt about that. And the important thing is, you know, and I know we need all the voices we can get. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So that they're even giving our critique of Brother Obama that we know, you know, he's not the kind of brother you bring to the Funk Fest. You know what I mean? So you don't bring it to the Funk Fest with Bootsy and George Clinton and James Brown. He's going to talk about the crisis in Gaza rather than genocide and ethnic cleansing. But you see, that's deodorized discourse. We want the funk, but we want as many voices as we can get. And we embrace that very much so. It's just sad that when you think about it, you know, a gangster like Trump could have 143 executive orders and Obama had 19.
Yeah.
I see, once we get in there, you got to fight. You got to throw down. You got to keep the funk real. You can't go in there dealing with this deodorized discourse about you're going to do X and Y for everybody. No, you got to fight for the poor. You got to fight for black folk. You got to fight for working folk. You love everybody, but you're fighting for the least of these. That was our critique of Obama. It remains that.
Yeah, it was. And part of our critique was, I mean, I every time I heard it, it was like fingernails on the chalkboard. I'm not the president of Black America. I'm the president of all of America. I hated, I know what he meant by that, but I hated that because it just, anyway, I'll leave that alone for the moment. Let me follow you, given where you just were headed. I want to just push you a little further down this path. And I've thought about this a lot, and clearly, given your comment, I'm not the only person thinking about this. I don't know that you and I've talked about this even in our private conversations off air, but the longer Trump stays in office, the more it makes me even rethink my critique of Obama and Biden and even Bill Clinton. Because to your point, you see the way that Trump and Republicans came into the White House and just went to work advancing their agenda. And if there is anything for us to learn from this grim and dark moment that we find ourselves in, is what Democrats ought to do, what progressives ought to do if they ever get the reins of power again. So tell me more about the way in which the longer Trump stays around, it makes you rethink, reconsider, you tell me the right word if you don't like any of those, your critique of Democratic presidents past.
No, I think we got to keep in mind, though, brother, given the crisis of capitalism with grotesque wealth inequality and the scapegoating of the most vulnerable, connecting the attack on the precious immigrants, attacks on black people, attacks on trade unions, attack on working people, there is no Trumpism, there is no neo-fascism without milquetoast neoliberalism, without milquetoast Democratic Party. So when the Democratic Party even made their move under Biden, and it was the black women that pushed him in, did he push the John Lewis bill? No. Did he push the George Floyd bill? No, they didn't get through. Well, how could it be that they didn't get through? And yet you had Democrats powerful in the Congress because it was not a priority. That's why. And why was it not a priority? Because the corporate power in the Democratic Party, the big donors, the big benefactors, they were the ones that were pushing it through. Then how do you end up with Gaza? Oh, I see. You got to connect you with a deeply conservative Jewish lobby. Progressive Jewish folk were critical of it. We know that. But the conservative Jewish lobby made it a priority to make sure that you facilitated the genocide in Gaza, meaning what? Black folks then on the outside, progressives still on the outside.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Democratic Party, that was the reason why, of course, I tried to do what I could do in terms of holding up a bloodstained banner for the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Rabbi Heschel and Edward Said and so many truth tellers in the past.
Speaking of progressives on the outside, we saw this news yesterday that Ben & Jerry's co-founder has announced he's leaving the business of Ben & Jerry's after 47 years, claiming he's being silenced by the company. They sold Ben & Jerry's to Unilever. Let me just quote right quick from Jerry. Jerry says, "This is a difficult decision, one of the hardest and most painful decisions I've ever made. This isn't because I've lost my love for the people at Ben & Jerry's, quite the opposite." He went on to say that when Unilever bought the company more than 20 years ago, it guaranteed Ben & Jerry's have the independence to pursue our values. And by our values, what he means to suggest is that his commentary, his public commentary, his stance on the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza is what has put him at odds with the owners now of Ben & Jerry's, even though he stayed as part of the corporation for 47 years. I ain't got to Jimmy Kimmel yet, but here's another example of people feeling in this moment a great truth teller like Jerry. But people are feeling silenced in this moment, so much so that he's decided to step away. There are a couple of questions here. Number one, just broadly, what you made of the news yesterday, that he was stepping down, given all the work they've done on so many issues that matter to you and me, and frankly, many of our listeners, whether they know it or not. And then secondly, what it means in a moment like this for people to decide that they're going to step back or step away. It's all yours, Doc.
Yeah, I saw that, but brother, I have such precious memories of Brother Ben and Brother Jerry on the Bernie Sanders campaign. They were very, very strong supporters, and we traveled together. We even sang songs together. I tried to stay in tune. Brother Ben was doing his Wonderful Jewish voice, nice little blend, like Carole King and Aretha.
There you go. There you go.
Nice little blend, black Jewish coming together. But thank God Bernie didn't sing it all. You know. Oh Lord, God bless him. No, but I say this because this is a moment we're seeing of mass capitulation because of the fear and the cowardliness. And capitulation is promiscuous. You see it in churches, you see it in politicians, you see it in businessmen, you see it in universities, you see it in people across the board. But on the other hand, solidarity against that capitulation also is universal. And when he criticizes Unilever, he says, look, this is going to be a prophetic witness. I'm going to write this letter. There's going to be a public discussion about it. I'm taking a stand for justice on behalf of what's going on in Gaza with my Palestinian brothers and sisters. It doesn't have an anti-Jewish element in it. Why? Because they themselves come out of a rich secular, the Jewish tradition. So the question becomes, oh, well, wait a minute now. This is fascinating. Will his pullback be viewed as itself an attempt to withdraw, or is the pullback a certain form of resistance?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's resistance, and I think he will forever be a part of the movement for truth and justice until the end of his life. I think that's who Brother Jerry, and we know Brother Ben the same way.
Yeah. Speaking of walking away, you see what I did there, Doc? Speaking
that was smooth, brother. Whoa.
Speaking of walking away,
that was like the whispers, brother. That's smooth, man. Yeah. That's the twins, and of course we one of the twins.
Scotty and Walter. Yeah, Scotty and Walter.
Oh, we love them. We love them.
Yeah. So speaking of walking away or walking off, it wasn't just Jerry at Ben and Jerry's. It was Cornel West the other night on Piers Morgan Uncensored. He'd had enough, and I can't play the entire exchange for you, but I'm going to just give you just a little taste of what happened if you did not see it live or didn't see it on the internet. It's been everywhere. Here's just a little taste of Dr. West walking off.
This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen, but this brother's not willing to
Cornel,
listen.
can you sit down? I would like you to remain part of the debate.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money, man.
Go on and make your money, man.
Doc,
what happened, man? What happened?
What happened? Yeah. Well, the earlier backdrop was you had the brother. I don't even know the brother. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
And he's saying that anybody who used the word fascist and neo-fascist was responsible for calling for the death of him and his wife, and responsible for the death of Brother Charlie Kirk. And I said, no. There was another sister, Anna, was on the show, and she was leftist, and they zeroed in on her and they had attacked her. But then she came back and said, well, I'm not really a leftist. I said, no, I am a leftist. I'll tell you why I use the word neo-fascism. I can give my argument for that. And as a Christian, I can still acknowledge the fact that murder is murder. When they killed Charlie Kirk, I am not for murder. He is made in the image of God and he has a sanctity. But I can tell you, I can't stand the fact that he called Martin Luther King an awful man. I can't stand the fact that he rejected the civil rights movement, which makes him in part pro-Jim Crow. And I can't stand the fact that he called George Floyd Jr. a scumbag. That's wrong. I can criticize him while remaining true to his humanity and allowing his precious family to mourn. And that's a space that we occupy in the legacy of Martin King and Fannie Lou Hamer and Irene and Clifton and my blood brother Cliff West. That's where we come from. That's connected to our landmark. And it was clear that this cat wouldn't allow me to say a word. And I say, Piers, you just making money, man. It's just your greed, man. That's all you're concerned about. You're the Jerry Springer of podcast. You just want folks to be hollering and cussing and yelling. I ain't got time for this. This is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. I'm gone.
What say you then, more broadly speaking, about the lack of civility in our discourse? It's one thing for us not to agree on everything. I can live with that. But this notion of incivility that's obviously on steroids now in the era of Donald Trump. Just talk to me I'm thinking about that conversation that you had or tried to have on Piers Morgan versus my seeing you and Robbie George earlier this week, I think on Sunday on Fox News. Very different sort of conversation. So that even when people disagree, we can be civil in that disagreement. We can disagree without being disagreeable. Say a word about the lack of civility in a moment like this in our public discourse.
Yeah, I think it's more and more rare. I'm hoping and praying that it's taking place in a lot of other contexts that we know not of, just everyday people trying to argue against political and ideological lines. But it's Sister Shannon Beam, who's on Fox. She's always been kind to Brother Robbie and I, especially with our book that came out, Truth Matters, Fruitful Disagreement in the Age of Division. And of course, Sister Phillips, Abby Phillips, has been very kind to me in terms of allowing my voice to be heard in the context of dialogue. But you have to be very clear that there has to be some trust in the dialogue. You don't go in with folk who have hatred and contempt and they're trying to say you are a killer. No, you can't have dialogue with that. You have to be very, very honest about that. And you have to be jazz-like and improvisational enough to know the context where genuine dialogue can take place and another context where it cannot. But you have to sustain your own dignity, your own integrity. And most importantly, it's not just about the dialogue. It's about focusing on the suffering of the people and how that suffering can be alleviated and focusing on yourself so you can keep your own sense of moral and spiritual integrity.
Yeah. One last piece here. I think this is obviously trending everywhere. Jimmy Kimmel yanked off the air last night at ABC. We know that Stephen Colbert was given his walking papers. He's still on the air for a few more months, I think. But first it was Colbert. Now it is Jimmy Kimmel. And the list is growing every day of persons who are being fired or yanked off the air for their commentary in the era of Donald Trump, be it Charlie Kirk or prior to Charlie Kirk. But people are losing jobs. Let me just say it very quickly here. This, for me, is not so much about Stephen Colbert as it is Jimmy Kimmel. With all due respect to both of them, who I know, I ain't crying no tears for white boys losing jobs in late night television. That's all we've had is a bunch of white guys in late night television. Stephen Colbert is going to be all right. Jimmy Kimmel is going to be all right. And this industry needs to get its act together and find some people of color and some women to host some late night shows. I'm going to leave that right there. So I ain't crying no tears for Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, or anybody else who's a white male losing a late night TV job. What I am concerned about, having said all that, is the ways in which, again, these media owners continue to bend the knee. What I am concerned about is the ways in which Donald Trump's administration, the FCC in this case, the chairman complains about something and ABC pulls him immediately, sooner than right now and quicker than at once. So it's the quieting of dissent, Doc, that concerns me. Not so much Stephen and Jimmy, but the quieting of dissent. I give you the last word.
That one of the distinctive tactics of any neo-fascist regime is the massive repression of dissenting voices, and that can only take place by putting fear in the hearts of elites, fear in the heart of employers, fear in the heart of those who have some economic power, and that's the capitulation that we were talking about. So we get another instance of capitulation, just like Columbia University, just like the law firms. We can go on and on and on. And this is happening in our churches, though, brother. This is happening in our people. As you always say, my brother, you're running scared or running free.
Yeah.
And you can't, if you're going to be a coward, just tell the world. So everybody know you're not dependable and reliable. Don't act like you're going to be courageous and be a coward. No, let's be honest about it. Be candid about it.
Just come on and say it. I'm a coward. I'm a coward. I get it.
I'm a coward. I'm a coward. That's why I got my money. That's why I got my status. That's why I'm so safe and comfortable. I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to cut against the grain. And for Christians to say, I want to be of the world, not just in the world, then you're not a Christian. Quit acting like you are.
Yeah, just be
honest. Blood
honest.
is too rich, too much salvific power in that blood at the bottom of the cross to turn it into Kool-Aid.
Just be honest. Just be honest. It's Smiley and West every Monday and Thursday, top of the second hour. And Dr. West, as always, I appreciate your insights. And I will talk to you very soon, my friend.
Love you, my brother. Stay strong, man.
Stay strong. From Cornel West to John Mellencamp, you're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi faces scrutiny after Black 21-year-old DeMartravian Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree on campus. Here's DSU President Dan Ennis.
We recognize that this is not only about facts, it's about emotions and it's about feelings.
His family, with attorney Ben Crump, demands transparency and a federal probe. A federal judge has ordered Alabama's Jefferson County to redraw commission lines, ruling racial gerrymandering. Black voters were packed into 2 districts, limiting representation. The county has 30 days to propose a new map, which could shift political power. And Christian Louboutin has named Jaden Smith as chief menswear designer, sparking some backlash over nepotism. He'll oversee 4 collections a year, aiming to connect with younger audiences and shape the brand's future. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This season, San Diego's playing at home, and you are on the roster. Don't miss the Padres, Wave FC, San Diego FC, and the Blue Angels at the Miramar Air Show. Plan your trip now at sandiego.org/awesome all year. Funded in part with City of San Diego Tourism Marketing District Assessment Funds.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers got a strong pitching performance from Blake Snell to beat Philadelphia last night 5-0. Snell had a season-high 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. The Dodgers got home runs from Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, his 51st this season. The Dodgers maintained their 2-game lead over San Diego in the NL West with 10 games left in the regular season. The Chargers placed All-Pro linebacker Khalil Mack on injured reserve, which means he'll miss at least the next 4 games. Mack was diagnosed with a dislocated left elbow. He was injured in the first quarter of the Chargers' win at Las Vegas Sunday night. The 34-year-old Mack has started 52 of 53 games with the Chargers. By the way, the Chargers have the number 1 defense in the NFL after 2 weeks, allowing only 15 points per game. The Chargers are at home Sunday against Denver. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Mount St. Mary's University, LA, takes students to the next level. Introducing Empower, their 4-year plan to launch you into the world as an unstoppable force. Discover more at msmu.edu.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Get you in a compromising position. They like to get you there, smile in your face. Yeah, the things are so cute when they got you in bad condition. But I think it's a total disgrace. And I swear, I fight authority, always wins. Always win. But I've been doing it since I was a young kid and I come out grinning. Always win.
So this is one of my favorite John Mellencamp songs, and I'm a huge John Mellencamp fan. Let me tell you why. When I was a student many years ago at Indiana University, I got a chance to meet John Mellencamp. Turns out one of my classmates, a sister named Crystal Talaferro, was singing background with John Mellencamp. And so when I was just a student at IU, I met John Mellencamp, had no idea that years later I would consider him a friend and a brother. And in 2010, my Who's Your Homeboy, John Mellencamp, asked me to host the live telecast of Farm Aid's 25th anniversary concert in Milwaukee. I was honored to do so. And what a show it was. An amazing lineup, including, of course, Mellencamp, Willie Nelson, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Norah Jones, and so many more. And now, this weekend in Minneapolis, they will celebrate the 40th anniversary of Farm Aid. And I am delighted to welcome my friend, my brother, my Who's Your Homeboy to this program, John Mellencamp. John, how are you, sir?
I am doing fine. How about you, young man?
Man, I ain't so young no more, but, I'm doing okay, man. It's good to hear your voice. You doing all right, though?
I'm squeaking by, yeah.
Yeah. It's good to hear you, man. I was saying a moment ago, as you heard 2010, I was grateful for the invitation from you and Willie Nelson and Neil Young to host a live telecast of Farm Aid in Milwaukee. Again, that was back in 2010. 40 years of doing this. How did Farm Aid come to be in the first place, John Mellencamp?
Well, Willie was, it's a funny story. Willie was playing golf in Bloomington with some friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned that we should do something for the American farmer. And a friend of mine went, "Have you heard Mellencamp's new record? It's called Scarecrow." And he got done playing golf, and he called me immediately. He said, "John, will you help me do this?" And he hadn't heard the record or anything. He just, was going on this guy's word. And so I said, "Yeah, I'll help you." And then next thing I know, I got a call from Neil Young. And then 2 days later, we're on a conference call and we're off and running.
Yeah. What do you make of the fact that 40 years later, this is still necessary? I was just talking earlier in our program. By the way, Cornel West just went off. We just talked to him. He sends his regards to you. And we were just talking in that conversation and the prior conversations on today's show about the fact that there are fights that we thought we had won that we find ourselves, John, fighting again all these years later. What does it mean that 40 years later, you're still doing fundraisers? You're still trying to draw attention to the plight of the American farmer?
Well, it's Tavis, it's not so much the American farmer. Corporate farming is doing fine because they use them as negotiating tools, with foreign countries. But it's the small American farmer that's not doing fine. All the stuff you hear about these farm bills are really there for corporate farming. And it doesn't help, like, for an example, a small farmer in Georgia. It's not for them. And so, it just continues. It's just like everything else. We've been lied to our whole life, and it's going to continue.
Lied to our whole lives, and it's going to continue. You have no faith that they'll ever tell us the truth? Speaking of, I fight authority.
I don't think we're ever going to hear the truth from our government. I used to participate in politics a little bit in the 2000s, but now I don't want anything to do with it. I don't really trust either side.
Last I checked, and something may have changed. If I'm wrong about this, you can disabuse me of this notion, John. But for all the years I've known you, again, let something change. You have been asked more times than I can count, more times than you can count, to perform the national anthem at all types of events. And last I checked, you were still saying no to that. Is that still the case?
Yes, that's still the case. I think that the national anthem for the United States should be America the Beautiful or This Land Is Your Land. But the song that we've chosen, the melody was stolen from the English, and the dialogue and the lyrics are war. It's like, hey, things are still going good because the bombs are still going, and we can still see the American flag, and I can't get behind that song.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Celebrating the war, celebrating battle. And I just thought, who made this decision? Because America the Beautiful is a much more unifying and peaceful song. And This Land Is Your Land is a much more peaceful and unifying song. But our national anthem is about war. And guess what? We're good at it.
Sadly we are. Sadly we are. 1985, Farm Aid is established. You heard John Mellencamp tell the story a moment ago, and they have raised over $85 million since that time to support programs to help farmers. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of work. Again, I know that I know you, and you're a pretty humble cat. But I want to just say to you and to Willie and to Neil Young and Dave Matthews and everybody else who's been involved in this for all these years, thank you. That's a lot of money. And in some ways, it's just a drop in the bucket given all that farmers are up against. But you must feel good about the work you and Willie and Dave and Neil have done raising this kind of money, John.
We have helped a lot of small farmers, and really that's our focus. And our focus is also, like you take a state like Iowa, for an example, and it has a lot of corporate farming and a lot of people dying of cancer who live in that state. Because there's a lot of flat farmland there, and they're using pesticides and all kinds of sprays and stuff that your organic farmer, your small farmer, wouldn't do. He's interested in quality and not quantity.
John Mellencamp mentioned two other songs that he thinks are much better choices for our national anthem. than the one that we have. He mentioned America the Beautiful. He mentioned This Land Is Your Land. Just take a listen for a second before I come forward and continue my conversation with John Mellencamp.
Beautiful, far heroes proved in liberating strife. Who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, make God thy gold refine.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of Black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling Black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandlost.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This land is your land, and this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
We continue our conversation now with the iconic John Mellencamp. He just happened to reference earlier in this conversation, in case you're just not tuning in, that there are two other songs he thinks might be better than the one that we use as the national anthem. The first is America the Beautiful. So I gave you a little taste of Ray Charles. And this, of course, is Woody Guthrie. This land is your land. And so John just got me thinking about the music. So I thought I would give you a little taste of it to weave in this conversation. John, you've been at this for a long time. John Mellencamp, of course, is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a recipient of the ASCAP Foundation's Champion Award. I was on hand to present that award to him. I remember that day well, one of the highlights of my life. Musically, lyrically, you operate in a certain space. And I don't mean to demean anybody, but the lyrics that you write, I started with the Authority song because I like that. I like so much of John Mellencamp's catalog, but your stuff actually says something. If you look up Americana, when it comes to music, you see a picture of John Mellencamp come up. Give me a sense of how you got in this lane of the kind of music that you write, the stuff that you perform. He laughs.
Strictly by accident.
I don't believe that, John. Not by accident, man.
Strictly by accident. No, look, when I got my first record deal, I was 22 years old.
Right.
I had never been in the studio. I had never written a song. I was a barroom singer, and I was energetic, and that's how I got a record deal. And so, Tavis, I grew up in public,
mm-hmm.
And my songwriting went from me struggling to try to, say something
mm-hmm.
to now at my ripe old age, I have to stop myself from writing songs.
Why?
Because I'd rather paint.
I'm not mad at the painting. I'm not mad at you painting. I thought you were going to tell me that you had to stop yourself because the stuff that you're writing right now might be too much for some Americans to handle. That's why I thought you were going with that.
Well, listen, it's, there are people who listen with open minds and open ears, and there's just some people that don't.
Yeah.
And so, you can't control that. And so I just tell everybody, hey, I'm not for everybody.
I like that. I am not for everybody. Cornel West was just on a few moments ago, as I mentioned, John, and he said, he closed that conversation by just being honest. He said, just be honest. People just need to be honest. And that's what I love about John Mellencamp. He's just honest. I am not for everybody. Love me some John Mellencamp, my Who's Your Homeboy. Our remaining moments with him. We'll say a final word about Farm Aid this weekend, their 40th anniversary, when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
So she chased after her dream with much desire. But when she got too close to her expectation, her dream burned up like paper and fire.
It's John Mellencamp on Tavis Smiley for the next few minutes here before I lose him at the top of the hour. Farm Aid is turning 40. As I said, I was honored back in 2010 to be the host of the live telecast for the 25th anniversary of Farm Aid. Time flies when you're having fun. 40 years later, John Mellencamp is still at it, along with Willie Nelson, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Kenny Chesney, Winona Judd, Steve Earle, just an amazing list of performers this weekend in Minneapolis at Huntington Bank Stadium. If you're anywhere in the Minneapolis area, go support Farm Aid on their 40th anniversary. I'm just sad I can't be there this weekend, but I'm always honored to be in conversation with my friend John Mellencamp. All right, John, I got 2 minutes left. You got your playlist together for this weekend yet?
No.
No.
No, you know me. You know
yeah.
me. I've never planned anything in my life.
Yeah. And did I just hear that Bob Dylan is added to this lineup, Mellencamp?
Yep, that's what you heard.
Wow. So one summer, I went to hang out with Mellencamp. I went on the road with him for a couple of his dates, and we were in Pennsylvania. I'll never forget, as long as I live. We were in Pennsylvania, and he was on tour that summer. He and Dylan were on tour together, and I just had the time of my life. Cornel West is mad. As a matter of fact, Dr. West with me that trip. So Doc and I just went to hang out with Mellencamp for a couple of days on his tour, and there we were in Pennsylvania with Mellencamp and Dylan, one of the great joys of my life. And so Bob Dylan, added to the lineup this weekend at Farm Aid, the 40th anniversary. John Mellencamp, you have done some great work, some amazing work, and 40 years later, we owe you a huge thank you, a great debt of gratitude to you, Willie, Neil, Dave, and others who are doing the work of making sure that these small farmers stay in business. And I've had many conversations, more than I'd like to have, with John Boyd over the years about the plight of Black farmers in particular. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your witness. Thank you for your friendship all these years. And as always, thank you for this conversation, my friend.
All right. Well, now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How old are you now?
I'm 61. I just turned 61 last week.
I turn 74 next week.
Happy early birthday. So I will I will talk to you on your birthday next week.
All right, sounds good.
Stay strong, man. I appreciate you. Love you much, John. Take care.
All right, buddy.
There you have John Mellencamp on Tavis Smiley. More when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi faces scrutiny after Black 21-year-old DeMartravian Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree on campus. Here's DSU President Dan Ennis.
We recognize that this is not only about facts, it's about emotions and it's about feelings.
His family, with attorney Ben Crump, demands transparency and a federal probe. A federal judge has ordered Alabama's Jefferson County to redraw commission lines, ruling racial gerrymandering. Black voters were packed into 2 districts, limiting representation.